Right now, beneath the frozen Arctic ice, a silent war is unfolding. Billionaires are racing to control a territory larger than the entire United States. But the truth behind this will shock you. What they're really after could reshape the global economy forever. They're building secret infrastructure in temperatures that would kill most humans in minutes. And one project, Project Polar Nexus, is leading this charge in ways nobody saw coming. Let me show you exactly how this happened. For decades, the Arctic was considered worthless, too cold, too dangerous, too expensive to access. But everything changed in 2007 when scientists discovered something incredible. The ice is melting faster than anyone predicted, and beneath that ice lies 25% of Earth's undiscovered oil and gas, trillions of dollars worth of rare minerals, new shipping routes that could cut global trade times in half. Suddenly, the world's richest people started paying attention. Russia planted a titanium flag on the Arctic seabed. Norway expanded its northern territories. China declared itself a near-Arctic nation, despite being thousands of miles away. But here's what most people don't know. While governments argued over borders, a private consortium launched Project Polar Nexus. It's not owned by one person. It's a partnership between mining giants, tech billionaires, and energy tycoons. And they're not waiting for permission. Now here's where things get really interesting. Project Polar Nexus isn't just exploring the Arctic. They're building an entire city there. Right now, on Svalbard, a Norwegian archipelago, halfway between mainland Norway and the North Pole, construction crews are working 24 hours a day. They're creating what they call an industrial hub. Think of it as a billionaire's base camp, but it's way bigger than that. The facility includes living quarters for 500 workers, a private port that can handle massive cargo ships, helicopter pads, even a small hospital. The buildings are designed to withstand winds of 150 miles per hour. They're heated by geothermal energy pulled from deep underground. The entire complex costs an estimated $3 billion. That's more than most countries spend on infrastructure in a year. But here's the crazy part. This isn't just for mining operations. Sources suggest they're testing technologies that could make permanent Arctic living possible for thousands of people. They're creating prototype housing, advanced food production systems, water recycling that sounds like science fiction. They're not just visiting the Arctic, they're preparing to colonize it. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this. Project Polar Nexus discovered something that changed everything. They found a massive deposit of rare earth minerals near their base. We're talking about elements with names most people can't pronounce. Neodymium, dysprosium, terbium. These materials are essential for modern technology. Your smartphone needs them. Electric car batteries need them. Wind turbines need them. Solar panels need them. Right now, China controls 90% of the world's rare earth supply. They can dictate prices. They can cut off countries they don't like. But this Arctic deposit reportedly contains enough rare earths to supply global demand for 30 years. According to industry insiders, the concentration is 3 times higher than typical deposits. That means it's actually profitable to mine in one of Earth's harshest environments. The estimated value, $700 billion. That's not a typo, $700 billion. For comparison, that's more than the entire GDP of Switzerland. And Project Polar Nexus got there first. They secured mining rights through a complex web of international agreements. Norway gets a percentage, local communities get jobs and funding. But the consortium keeps control. Here's what makes this even more interesting. They're not just digging up minerals and shipping them out. They're building processing facilities right there in the Arctic. That means they control the entire supply chain from extraction to refined product. No middlemen, no foreign dependencies, complete vertical integration in the world's most remote location. This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all. Project Polar Nexus isn't actually about mining at all. That's just the cover story. The real goal is far more ambitious and, frankly, a bit terrifying. They're building the infrastructure for what they call climate migration zones. Let me explain what that means. As global temperatures rise, parts of the world are becoming uninhabitable. Extreme heat in the Middle East, rising sea levels threatening coastal cities, droughts making farmland useless. The billionaires behind this project ran the numbers. They hired climate scientists, they built sophisticated models, and they reached a conclusion that they're keeping very quiet. Within 50 years, hundreds of millions of people will need to relocate. And the Arctic, once frozen and hostile, will become one of the few places with abundant fresh water, moderate temperatures, and untapped resources. It will be prime real estate. The consortium isn't preparing for today's world. They're preparing for tomorrow's, and they want to own it before anyone realizes what's happening. Documents leaked from internal meetings reveal their true timeline. Phase 1 is resource extraction, which generates the cash flow. Phase 2 is infrastructure development, which we're seeing now. Phase 3, scheduled to begin in 2035, is population settlement. They're planning entire cities, schools, hospitals, farms built in massive greenhouses. They've even trademarked names for future Arctic municipalities. The people who control the Arctic won't just be rich. They'll control humanity's future survival zones. They'll decide who gets to live there, who gets access to water, who gets access to food. It's not a mining project, it's a 50-year plan to control climate refuge. So what does all this mean for us today? This changes everything about how we think about climate change. Most people see it as a crisis to prevent. These billionaires see it as an opportunity to exploit, and they're not alone. Similar projects are reportedly underway in Greenland, northern Canada, and Siberia. The new Cold War isn't about ideology. It's about controlling the places people will desperately need in 30 years. For regular people, this creates serious concerns. If private entities control future habitable zones, they'll set the rules. They'll determine prices, housing, water, food, everything. Imagine needing to relocate because your hometown became unlivable, but the only safe places are owned by billionaire consortiums, charging premium prices for basic survival. That's the future these projects are building toward. There's also the geopolitical angle. Countries like Russia and China aren't going to let Western billionaires claim the Arctic without a fight. Norway is already facing pressure to restrict private development. Indigenous communities are protesting. Environmental groups are suing. But Project Polar Nexus keeps pushing forward. They've got legal teams bigger than most law firms. They've got political connections in multiple countries. And here's something most people miss. The Arctic isn't governed by normal laws. It's a gray zone. International treaties are vague. Enforcement is difficult. It's like the Wild West, except frozen. Companies can do things there that would never be allowed on regular territory. No emission standards, limited labor protections, minimal environmental reviews. It's a regulatory paradise for corporations and a potential nightmare for everyone else. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. The most unexpected twist in this entire story, some of the money funding Project Polar Nexus comes from pension funds. That's right, regular retirement accounts. Investment firms managing money for teachers, nurses, and factory workers are betting on Arctic development. Most people invested in these funds have no idea their retirement savings are financing this race. Why would pension funds do this? Returns. Arctic projects promise massive profits. Fund managers need those profits to pay future retirees. So everyday people are unknowingly funding the very system that might exclude them from future climate refuges. It's a brutal irony. The consortium knows this. Internal memos show they deliberately sought pension fund investment to avoid scrutiny. It's easier to justify securing resources for retirees than admitting you're building exclusive climate bunkers for the ultra-wealthy. The hook from the beginning comes full circle. This isn't just billionaires acting alone. They've made millions of regular people complicit through the financial system. The Arctic race isn't happening to us. We're funding it. If this opened your eyes, you need to understand what happens next. Let's recap what we just uncovered. Project Polar Nexus is building a $3 billion Arctic facility. They discovered 700 billion in rare earth minerals. But the real goal is controlling climate migration zones worth infinitely more, and your retirement funds might be paying for it. This story is still unfolding. New developments emerge monthly. If you want to stay informed about how billionaires are reshaping our future, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, these stories don't get covered by mainstream media. Next video, we're investigating another secretive project that makes this one look small. Drop a comment below. Do you think private companies should be allowed to claim Arctic territory? Or should it remain international commons? I read every comment. The future is being decided right now in the coldest place on Earth, and most of us don't even know it's happening. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.